this is good dirt.
I mean, not that fancy store-bought dirt. That stuff's loaded with nutrients. I can't compete with that stuff.
Welcome everyone. It is your guy J Brad here, and today we will be concluding the Ghostbusters trilogy, but kind of quadrilogy, but not really. Yeah, we are going to be going into Ghostbusters Afterlife. Now, I have heard from a lot of people that this movie is a much better film than not only the Ghostbusters reboot, but also Ghostbusters 2. It feels like a much more heartfelt and, the word I hear a lot is sincere sequel, and it's really, really good for fans of the original, but at the same time, it's not overwhelming to new fans, particularly younger fans. I know that this film has a much younger cast because they're trying to pull a Stranger Things type of vibe with this, which I guess makes sense because if you are going to do a movie franchise like this and you got to figure out like what the next step is, I figure that having kids be the Ghostbusters is really, really nice because paranormal adventures, kids love that stuff. I remember reading all the Goosebumps books when I was little, and I remember liking a lot of spooky cartoons, including the Ghostbusters cartoons themselves. So it's kind of like coming full circle, so to speak. I expect that this movie is probably going to be my favorite out of all of the Ghostbusters movies. That is my prediction going into this. Other than that, I don't really know anything about this movie going in. So, if you would be so kind as to lick, comment, and subscribe to this channel, it would greatly help me out with the algorithm. And also, maybe if you want to follow me on Twitter, that would be pretty cool too. Maybe if I get more followers, I'll post more on there. Anyway, as I said earlier, let's actually get started. Starting off strong with some spooky, ghosty noises. I appreciate it. Now, this is the production company of the Ghostbusters franchise going forward, so I'm curious as to where they're going to take things after this movie. Of course, you gotta start things off with a beam going into the sky. Apparently, that Shandor guy who ran the building also had a mining company. Already right away, this gives off a vibe that I feel is very much the next logical step in the Ghostbusters franchise. A lot of moody lighting and a lot of ominousness. A lot of not showing the monster. Literally not showing the monster because it's invisible. No, I'm pretty sure this is Egon. Maybe, I don't know. Oh no! It couldn't be that easy. Oh, the demon dogs are back. Oh? So, my guess is that obviously Egon is dead and they kind of had to because Harold Ramis passed away. Okay, so this is Egon Spengler's daughter. I wonder with whom? Now, I gotta say, right off the bat, this movie feels so incredibly different than all of the other movies so far. The shots, the cinematography, the atmosphere, and the mise-en-scène, the colors are very different. I actually really, really appreciate this form of cinematography for this type of movie.
Revelation 6:12.
Isn't that the Bible quote that Winston and Ray shared in the car in the first movie? Given Harold Ramis's ethnicity, I'm not really sure if the New Testament really applies to him. Ooh, that's a bunch of old cars. It's like in Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Now that I think about it. Of course, you have the stack of books.
It's okay. At least we're only here for a week. Give or take.
I relate.
Can I help you?
Oh, it's the lady. Janine Melnitz. Must be kind of hard for her to see his daughter and grandkids knowing that she,
I'm here to sign for
you know, wanted a relationship with him.
Are you telling me this place is worthless?
You mean aside from the sentimental value?
Was that, like, a dig at the franchise?
I'll be right back.
We're really gonna try this? Of course we are.
Under experience, you put friendly with a smiley face? Not creepy.
I didn't really know what to put.
I don't think friendly qualifies as an experience.
Quality, I guess.
I've had to work with young people. I've had to hire young people. I've had to instruct and train young people. A lot of them don't know how to be friendly. I assume that a lot of young people these days just don't know how to make or have friends. Barely any of them even go on dates. God, I would have killed to have had my own room growing up. It must be so nice, especially having a room that big. Man. Hopefully one day, after this channel becomes a massive success, I'll be able to purchase a large house so that all of my many, many children, and I do want many, many children, can each have their own room. Because having to share your room with two younger brothers, not that fun. And that's going to be the car. It's got to be the car. That was for the trailer. Now, a few chess players out in the comments section, is it okay to move a back piece before you've moved any of the pawns? I was about to ask where his backpack was, but he's just going to work. At least he got the job, that's good.
You okay?
Yeah, first day. Can you imagine who they've got teaching summer school?
You can. I teach here.
They're gonna fuck.
Good morning, class.
Oh boy, are we gonna watch Bill Nye? Or are we gonna watch the episode of Magic School Bus where they shrink and have to go inside Ralphie?
Imagine Beethoven if he contracted rabies and just started mauling children.
Hell yeah, but none of these kids know what Beethoven is. I doubt they know who the Beethoven is.
It was natural causes. Are you sure it wasn't unnatural causes?
Shit.
Yes. Pretty sure it was just a heart attack.
What if it was a heart defense? Are you serious?
I know how many sides there are in a triangle.
I just thought you were being obtuse.
That's terrible. No, I loved it.
Yeah, I like this guy. Best character so far. Apart from main girl, she's cool too. Why aren't you wearing gloves? Why aren't you wearing gloves? Why aren't you wearing gloves? Holy shit, why aren't you wearing gloves?
And girls just kind of meat puppets.
But who's pulling the strings? Think about it.
The Shandorian curse.
You can tell he practiced that. Oh, he's just right there. So I gotta say, so far the movie is okay. Pretty good.
What a shitbox.
Don't think that was necessary, but okay. Oh no, he's a brony. Honestly, these two kids feel like they were meant to be best friends. Rinse your mouth out with water. Ugh. So there's a ghost nearby. I'm guessing it's Egon's, because what other ghost is going to be here at his house? This is giving me Coraline vibes. Which is weird because aesthetically they're kinda different, but not really. In fact, looking at it now, this movie is actually reminding me a lot of Coraline for some reason. You know, you got the mom who doesn't want to, deal with the kids. You got the curious girl and the sort of odd kid friend. But you also got elements of Paranorman in there too. You know, both of those movies are really, really good and underappreciated, even if they do have some obvious problems, but I will say I do appreciate how wholesome this movie is so far.
Seriously? How do you, of all people, not know about this?
I'm ashamed.
Okay, so that's a bit of a problem for me narratively. The idea that the entire world just simply pretended that, well, to be fair, they kind of did that in the second movie when they're like, we don't believe in ghosts anymore.
Science is reckless.
Totally! Yes! It's punk rock!
If science is punk rock, does that make geology metal? There seems to be a recurring theme of tying everything back to the first movie, including the music that we're listening to right now. I do not expect there to be any references to the second Ghostbusters movie.
Would you
Sure.
like?
Yeah.
I don't have any food.
It's fine.
Tour.
Great.
Great.
Well, that was easy. It just baffles me that the world isn't completely different now that everyone knows that ghosts exist. But then again, the Ghostbusters reboot actually brought up a very interesting point about how people just forget shit. These people can stop a bunch of ghosts from taking over Manhattan, and yet afterwards people are like, oh, yeah, just going back to another day in America. I know this is an old song, but I always remember it from Rill Rill by Sleigh Bells. Also, they're playing a lot of nostalgic music, which I don't think is a happy coincidence. I think that this movie is most definitely trying to relate to people who grew up in the 80s, or 70s rather, and 80s, when they were old enough to really appreciate the first Ghostbusters movie, and now want to watch this movie with their kids. We're really going to do this, aren't we, movie? We're really going to do this. You know, there's been research about this. Commercials these days do everything they can to push the whole white male, black female couple pairing thing. You see it a lot in advertising these days because when they try to do black male, white female, a lot of people don't like seeing it. So they try to play it safe with the reverse, and they just get like this nerdy, sort of dorky white guy, give him a black girlfriend with big hair, and they call it a day. But in actuality, that pairing is very, very rare in real life, especially among married couples. It very rarely happens in real life. It's funny because the most common interracial pairing with white males is with Asian females, but you almost never see that in media, which really makes one wonder what's going on, because in the early 2000s, they weren't afraid to pair white males with Asian females, but nowadays, they always try to give them either Indian or black girlfriends.
Well, what about Phoebe? You think she'd want any of this?
Oh, I'm sure Phoebe will find something.
Which means that she's probably going to find her grandpa's entire stash. I will say, I actually really dig Phoebe's character because they could have very easily had made her much more emotionally detached from everything else, but they still make her like a little bit down to earth. In this case, really down to earth. That's right, because he collected spores and fungus. See, now the callbacks are starting to get a little bit much. Okay, now we're venturing into like obnoxious fan service, which is a shame because I'm liking some of the fan service they have in this. Oh God, she's gonna summon Beetlejuice. Hey, has that ever been done before? A Beetlejuice Ghostbusters crossover? That would be the coolest thing. Oh man, now I want a Ghostbusters Beetlejuice crossover. I know that they have Ghostbusters comics out right now, so who knows? Maybe they might do that someday. I know that they have a sequel comic for Edward Scissorhands. I read it. It was really good. It could have been bad, but it was actually really great.
Thanks.
So his ghost is helping her. I like how she didn't believe in ghosts, and now she just believes in ghosts because she understands, well, if they're real, they're real. What can I do about it? And that is fairly believable because she just appreciates the realities of the world, even if they are very strange and unusual. Because she herself is very strange and unusual. I really liked Beetlejuice growing up.
Hey, you're awake.
I noticed that that video only had about 100 or so thousand views on it. Why doesn't the Ghostbusters commercial, the people who saved Manhattan, why doesn't that have like 20 million views? Wouldn't that be one of the first things that people would upload to YouTube in a world where the Ghostbusters actually existed? I also like how she and her mom have, you know, a decent enough relationship. Like, they both have an appreciation for dry humor. Aw, her little red wagon. And you know what? This look for the backpack gels perfectly with the setting. 'Cause it's like they're in the Rust Belt, and this thing is literally rust with belts. It's perfect.
You didn't hit it. You destroyed it. It doesn't even exist anymore. My turn.
Another thing I appreciate, and this might seem kind of strange, but I also like the podcast character. He is not obnoxious. He's just the right level of foil to Phoebe. They're different enough, but they do sort of relate to each other on plenty of levels so that they don't feel like they're just together because the plot says they are. Like, I could believe these two characters being friends in real life. And you know, going back to what I was saying about the whole Rust Belt thing, the idea of ghosts existing in Middle America makes total sense. There's so much history throughout the Midwest that would lend itself, and especially the Rust Belt or Appalachia. Could you imagine Ghostbusters in Appalachia? Good old boy Ghostbusters? Oh man, that would be great. Like Duck Dynasty, but with ghosts. Is Slimer gonna be here? No, that's not Slimer. It's like the blue caterpillar from Alice in Wonderland. Or rather, the very hungry blue caterpillar. Deer. I get so many fucking deer in my backyard. Like, every day I see deer. Drives my dog nuts. Because he just wants to be friends with them. Or eat them. Or I don't know what he wants to do with them. Nuggets? Careful. He didn't just fly away, he fucking skedaddled out of there. Go for it. Go for it. Super illegal. Go for it. A boy has the right to dream. There are endless possibilities stretched out before him.
Do you know how to drive? He doesn't. Failed his driver's test 3 times.
Well, just because you fail doesn't mean you don't know how to do something. Just putting it out there.
Who knows? Maybe she'll take up pole dancing.
Well, she's not very coordinated.
Oh, I don't think that matters.
So, Gary Gruberson is a super chill dude. Oh, cool! That is cool. Now, when it comes to the majority of ghosts that we've seen in the movies at the very least, they seem to be kind of based off of people, but this is literally just like a caterpillar that eats metal. Like, what kind of person would that have been in when they were alive? Oh, hell yeah! RC Trap! This is great! This is like catnip for children. But in the best possible way. Like, I don't get the feeling that this is merely to sell toys, even though there is a clear toy opportunity here. Rather, it feels like they're trying to give kids inspiration to build stuff. Actually, you know what this movie reminds me of? Even though it takes place in the modern day, you know what this movie reminds me of? The Sandlot. That's what this movie reminds me of. It reminds me of Sandlot and Stand By Me, with also a bit of Super 8. Which, you know, all three of those movies were very nostalgic. That's a good shot. It's like a kite. I'm just loving the RC trap. Oh, it does a little jump. That's cute. Don't talk to me or my son ever again.
I was there.
Hey! Hi, what brings you here?
Gee, I wonder. Oh, it's Dan Aykroyd. Fun fact, they're actually just calling Dan Aykroyd because, from what I've learned, he's actually super into the occult. So, this could very well be Dan Aykroyd's living room.
Are you Ray Stans, the Ghostbuster?
And now I'm hanging up.
Hang on, please.
My grandfather was
What about Egon Spangler?
Egon Spangler. I almost said Oswald Spangler.
People believed in us, and things got slow, hauntings got thin. Venkman thought we did our job too well. Oh, we could barely keep up our mortgage.
How can you not make money off of being the fucking Ghostbusters for the rest of your life?
Egon Spangler was my grandfather.
You should have started with that. Also, fuck you, cop, for doing that to a little kid. Did you know who she was calling? You're just gonna, like, clink the phone on a little kid like that? Fuck you, cop. Fucking cops, I swear.
Okay, well, you starting to sound like your lunatic grandfather.
She didn't mean it.
You know what? I like this. I'm sorry, but that scene kind of pissed me off. Like, what kind of sociopath talks to a kid like that?
You really want more of this?
Are you kidding me? We had Kung Pao shrimp. We went to jail. I mean, I don't know how we're gonna top this.
Literally me.
Kids hungry? They want some of this unrefrigerated shrimp?
I mean, I'll take it. Although, actually, no. Put it in the fridge overnight because cold Chinese food. Like, right up there with cold pizza.
I think he was a sad old man who turned his back on his family, his partners, and for what? For a stupid farm in a town nobody cares about.
I care about the town. I care about every town like this. Because nobody in power does.
He's not nuts.
Well, then he's an asshole.
In all fairness, it is kind of difficult to be both dumb and an asshole. Because being an asshole does require some modicum of intelligence to pull it off. Oh, great. See, this is what I'm talking about. Small towns don't deserve to have shit like this. Wow, this is the cleanest Walmart I've ever seen. I swear to God, if I was Supreme Chancellor of America, Walmart gone. McDonald's gone. Dollar General gone. You don't get to be here anymore. All of your businesses are done over and will be repurposed for things that are actually good. Ah, more fan service. This is for all the moms in the audience. Oh no! It's Gremlins! Another 80s movie. It's like the Suicide Club. Good movie, by the way. Oh no. It's just like Pre-Hysteria, which was a 90s movie that I doubt anyone in the audience saw. Ugh. It's like a pit bull. All it wants to do is just kill strangers.
What does the name Evo Shandor mean to you guys?
Evo Shandor?
I like how the people right behind them are also listening, because they're like, what are they talking about? That sounds interesting. Are the other teenagers going to help? Because that might be neat.
Gozer isn't he or she.
Pretty woke for 3000 BC.
Probably explains why Gozer wanted to subjugate all normal people to their will. Oh shit! Is that him? What?
1984. Ghosts attack New York City.
2021. Nothing else happened in between. What was the next year? Was there another year after that? I'd be curious. Like a futuristic Ghostbusters movie? That actually left me kind of breathless for a moment. It was like in Lord of the Rings or something. That was legitimately spooky. Aw, and she's gonna stumble on all of his stuff, and she's gonna learn that he actually did care about her. Oh shit, it just occurred to me, the fire pole from the firehouse. Oh boy. That was a good scare. I mean, I wasn't scared by it, but I can imagine that being a very tasteful scare for children. And I know that sounds weird, but you know what? Fuck it. Kids need to be scared every once in a while. Sometimes kids need to be spooked. Because they love that shit. Even if they get scared easily, they love spooky shit. They love ghost stories, they love scary cartoons, all that stuff.
Mom?
Wow, she's even doing the heavy breathing.
I don't know. Mom, Phoebe, what do I do?
Mom, that is very inappropriate. It's just like the comic of the guy jumping out of the window. Dirt. Dirt, dirt, dirt. This is good dirt.
What is all this?
Dirt.
This isn't a farm.
It's dirt.
It's a trap.
A dirt trap for dirt.
What's a capacitor?
Would it kill you to read?
Would it kill you to just tell me?
Yeah, you know what? I agree with him.
They were just here.
I bet he's always wanted to do something like that. You know, everything about this movie feels like this should be... Like, I don't know if I would say the final movie, but it feels like something... It feels like there's closure, I guess. I'm gonna be honest, I kind of wish they were doing different ghosts. Is that Olivia Wilde?
We can rule the world.
Oh! Well, that's a shame. I was looking forward to seeing more of Shandor.
Are you prepared to die?
No, I'm 12.
See, that's what I like, fucking with ghosts. Fucking with ghosts. Just be like, I'm sorry, I don't know what you mean. You're not making any sense. I am making perfect sense! You are a puny mortal! It's like, oh yeah, well maybe you're just such a big god that you can't understand what your own worshippers are trying to say when they talk to you. Have you tried being a better god? Maybe you'd get more worshippers if you actually, you know, walked around with them.
And you turn into a dog.
And you get kinda humpy. Hold on.
A bitch in heat, if you will.
Phoebe, you're...
I'm a scientist.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. You know what? I really like Phoebe. She's really cool. She's a really good main character. When are we gonna get the beam in the sky? I'm waiting for the beam in the sky. Oh, she's gonna be like Mito Como, and she's gonna like hold up her badge and be like, stop right there. You just know. You just know.
Hey, Flat Top!
Oh my god.
Have you missed us?
But they're not going to be the ones who stop her. Phoebe's gonna be like the fourth beam or something.
Are they dead?
No, they're just old.
We're finished.
Oh. Hey! Oh god, it's Harry Potter. It's the final... It's Harry Potter. Of course. Of course. They have to. See, I was right. The fourth beam. You know, would it have killed them to have included a scene like that in The Force Awakens? Oh, so she's getting split into multiple traps. That's probably a good idea. Just like in Harry Potter.
I thought you might turn up. I'm sorry. I didn't believe you.
I should have called. I miss you, my friend.
I guess that was for the guys.
We're gonna have Coco inside, and some of us will have rum with it.
Good idea. Always a good idea. Hot cocoa makes everything better.
You gotta be my podcast.
Sure, what's it called?
Mystical Tales of the Unknown Universe.
MTW, that's you?
Wait, you're my subscriber?
Really found its voice in the 46th episode.
Aww. Well, that's sweet. Very sweet send-off. You can tell it really mattered. Aww. You can tell it really mattered for everybody. Of course, we gotta have the song. Gotta have the song.
It's my lucky coin.
I shouldn't take it. We might not be coming back.
Take it anyway. I got another one at home.
Is that a deleted scene?
I may be a businessman, but I will always be a Ghostbuster.
Hell yeah, man. Hell yeah. Of course. Well, that was Ghostbusters Afterlife. So, let's talk about it. This is what it should feel like to have a passing of the torch story. This movie is not only the movie that we should have gotten instead of the 2016 reboot, but this also feels like a movie that we should have gotten even before then. This feels like a movie that not only has plenty to appeal towards fans of the original Ghostbusters, but this really does feel like something that you can watch with your kids, that you can share with your kids when you explain to them Ghostbusters as a movie and how much it may have meant to you. This is something that you can then tie into the future with. I know that may not have come out right, but bear with me for a second. This was easily my favorite Ghostbusters movie. Like, no contest. It had a lot of heart. It was charming. It was adorable in some parts. The kids were great. Like, I honestly want to see these kids be Ghostbusters again. I want a sequel to this. I really do. And not only do I want a sequel to it, but this is coming from someone who's never seen the TV show Stranger Things and has, quite frankly, no intention of doing so. This deserves to be a TV show. It deserves to be remembered, really. You know, this should be regarded as Ghostbusters 3. I think this is the Ghostbusters 3 that audiences deserved, probably mostly wanted. And I say mostly wanted because on top of all the really fun things I mentioned, like the cinematography, the acting, the aesthetic of the movie, There were a couple of issues that I had, namely the fact that we didn't get to see as many unique ghosts. I was really disappointed that it all just revolved around Gozer and the pit bulls with horns. I really think Ivo Shandor should have been like the main guy, and it should have had the Ghostbusters fighting against him at the end. I think that would have been cooler. There were some very obvious nostalgia bait moments, like the Twinkie, the Crunch Bar, the Fungi Collection, the fire pole, just like the stack of books. All of these things were just like, it was overkill for me. You could have just kept the trap, kept the car, all the gear. Although I will say a very welcome addition was the gunner seat in the car. That was really cool. But I'm gonna be honest, I know a lot of people didn't like the 2016 reboot, but the different weapons I thought was really cool. I like the idea of different ghost weapons, especially the double guns that Kate McKinnon had. I think it would have been really cool if the kids had them, although the RC car was easily my favorite thing in terms of new Ghostbusters tech. The RC trap was just so much fun. Like, I kind of want one now. Yeah, you know, the movie just had like a pleasant feeling. It didn't feel cynical at all. It felt like it was a real, honest, good faith attempt to try and recapture the feeling of, you know, movies like The Goonies and Gremlins and The Sandlot and Stand By Me. I've also got a bit of Sam Raimi's Spider-Man films, if that feels weird at all, and all of those movies that are just so nostalgic for people, and for good reason, because the little charm of the very warm moments in the movie where it's just the kids and the music and them just like looking up, you know, wistfully at the stars, thinking about what's possible, and, you know, the mushy shit like that. But, you know, we love it and we all miss it, and they don't do it enough in modern movies. But this movie, if it was a cute little town in Oklahoma, and the kids were just, you know, little like preteens who just wanted to have some fun and learn something new and make friends and go on adventures and stuff like that, like the, you know, like the Goonies. I will say I also appreciated that the original Ghostbusters did not overstay their welcome at the end, although I would have liked to have seen a scene or two with Dan Aykroyd's character calling Venkman and Winston. I think that would have been, it would have helped like slowly build up to it, because there are these beats where it's like, oh, they're gonna come, they're gonna arrive. But yeah, I really liked this movie. This was far and away my favorite Ghostbusters movie. I could easily picture a lot of kids, like young kids, seeing this movie and it actually meaning something for them. You know, like this could be the kind of cinema milestone for a lot of kids that the original Ghostbusters was for a lot of kids growing up in the 80s and 90s. I think this was a very worthy successor. What I'm going to be doing next, the next franchise I'm going to be tackling after Ghostbusters, I'm going to leave that up to you folks. I will be putting out a poll soon wherein you, my subscribers, get to decide what franchise I tackle next. So, until then, this is J. Brad, signing out.